A couple of months ago, before the World Cup started in Mexico, it was impossible to walk through downtown Monterrey without running into homeless people. A large amount of people who were suffering mental conditions. There was dozens of these type of people living in the streets of Monterrey, and they are different than an American homeless. These people could be seen in the streets of Monterrey without a shirt and under heavy influence of alcohol. Today, they seem to have disappeared without a trace, conveniently enough, just in time for the 2026 World Cup in Monterrey. Monterrey is just not any city. It is the second wealthiest city in all of Mexico, while at the same time being one of the places with the highest number of inequality in the entire continent. While some of the country's richest millionaires live in San Pedro de Garza, in the heart of Monterrey, it was still inevitable for even them to come across them so-called crazy people of downtown Monterrey, or in Spanish, known as Los Loquitos del Centro. Even though the number of homeless people increased every year from one moment to the next, hundreds of homeless individuals disappeared without leaving a trace, conveniently around the dates of the 2026 World Cup, when the streets of downtown Monterrey would be filled with tourists and people celebrating the World Cup. In this video, we will discuss a topic that is interesting and leaves us with a question about what is going on with the authorities of the city of Monterrey and the shady strategy they used and will continue to use to clear the streets of Monterrey of those people who are in homelessness because of the city of Monterrey, because that city does not give them good equality or good wages. However, these people are still suffering from the state itself of Monterrey because they don't give a good image and a sense of progress that the government wants to project and make the tourists that are coming to the World Cup believe. For years, walking through the streets of Monterrey forced the citizens of Monterrey to see the reality of inequality. Whether you were strolling along Paseo Santa Lucia, a beautiful trail that has a river alongside, if you were there, it was certain that you were gonna encounter a so-called loquito, and in some cases, they were even spotted inside the river taking a shower or washing their clothes. Or if you happen to stay out late at night around Monterrey's version of Times Square located in the intersection of Morelos and Juarez in La Plaza Tecnología, after 8 p.m., the stores would be closed and the fronts of businesses would become bedrooms for a large number of homeless people. To give you a better idea of the magnitude of this problem, in January 2026, Sandra Gonzalez reported for Milenio that although there was no official census, there was around 5,000 people wandering throughout the streets of Monterrey without a home. And the reality of those homeless people is that a large amount of those homeless individuals were migrants, mostly from Honduras. Most than likely, they were trying to reach the United States but got trapped in Monterrey. And Monterrey is not just any city. Like I said earlier, it is one of the highest ranking cities of inequality in the continent. Living in a city that is so unequal puts you to the side and makes you feel bad, which can lead you to finding gateways of your reality like drugs and alcohol. But something changed in the months leading up to the opening of the northernmost World Cup. Although this problem had been ignored for decades and several governors, not just the current governor Samuel Garcia, was ignoring them. However, Samuel Garcia did something that no governor in the past had done. He managed to clean up the streets of Monterrey. Almost as if he had done magic, by the snap of his fingers, he managed to clean it up As the day passed by, there was fewer and fewer homeless people walking in the streets of Monterrey. However, this didn't happen overnight. This was months of planning. 2 months before people began noticing the homeless population disappearing in the city, the police director of Monterrey publicly stated that they were carrying out what they named Operativo Rastrillo, whose primary objective was to literally remove the homeless people from the streets. According to him, the man named Eduardo Quiroz quoted by Posta, the operation was going to work as following. Starting 8 p.m., we began the sweep. We patrol the areas and take anyone found on the public streets into holding cells. According to the official, they also relied on reports submitted by local residents and business owners in the downtown area of Monterrey. I would like to assume that they will not just take anybody that was outside at 8 p.m. It was like if you looked homeless, I believe, which they were also stereotyping. But it's also not like you wouldn't look homeless, right? But okay, by March of this year, Monterrey police were already boasting and making themselves feel proud that they had arrested more than 3,000 homeless people and that they were making a big advance on cleaning the streets before the World Cup. But the real question isn't just how they arrested them. The real question is, what are they doing with those homeless people? Did they take them to rural areas and drop them off like they do in the United States? Like states like Texas is known for picking up homeless people and then take them to another state. Is that what they're doing in this case as well? We don't know. However, it's a bizarre case, especially since Mexico is not known for the best human rights on its own citizens. It's known that the government does not act on its best behalf on its citizens. So let's think about it for a second right now. Even if they were arrested under the excuse of administrative violations, they could only legally be held for a maximum of 36 hours legally. Logically, they should have soon returned to the very same streets they were arrested after 36 hours of being detained. But that is not the case here. Those homeless people are just disappearing. According to people and speculations in the streets and internet, of course, the internet gives theories sometimes, all the homeless people that are being arrested in Monterrey main streets are being taken to remote areas where they're being released there. These remote areas are on the outskirts. Some people have mentioned municipalities like Ciénega de Flores, El Carmen, Pesquería, and Garcia. Remote areas with not a lot of future. And it's scary that these areas that people probably know each other. And then from one day to another, you have a random homeless person just roaming the streets all drunk and probably causing havoc because they're not the nicest persons. Okay, they're not the nicest people. But beyond these rumors, the question still remains the same. What happened to these homeless people who were arrested? But can we really believe that? Can we really believe that these people are being taken to remote areas and being dropped off there? Let's be real. Can we truly believe that the same officials who choose to cover the facades of poor neighborhoods with tarps and chain links fencing so that tourists could not see the poor areas of Monterrey, do you think those people, those officials who were denying their own citizens the right to see the World Cup or be seen in the World Cup, do you believe those people are truly taking the time out of their day to drop them off in remote areas? Do you think they really care about homeless people? I don't know. Let's just think about that. But I don't know. It's hard to believe that, right? Where did these homeless people go? Where did the homeless people of Monterrey go? It's for you to decide, since the government will not announce where they're taking them. It's scary. And that's the end of my article about these people. It's scary what's going on down there in Monterrey. They're denying the people denying them, acting like nothing's going on over there in Monterrey, acting like they're the richest people, acting like wealthiest city in Mexico. I mean, if you go to Monterrey, it's beautiful, beautiful city, but it's far from the reality. Let it sink in. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm making another video here soon about Shane Bum and FIFA, what they're doing over there in Jalisco. And then we're ending it with Ciudad de Mexico. It's amazing what Mexico is doing with the World Cup, though. Like the national team, they're playing beautiful. I love it. Like and subscribe. Thank you, guys.